Are you jealous of your spouse's body? Yes, I asked that question. Are you resentful or jealous, envious of the fact that your partner, male or female, has a better body than you do? Yes, you may have put on some pounds, a little bit disproportionate to how you looked maybe when you first met your spouse or your partner. Now it shows. And your partner has maintained their body figure and or shape, and they look good for the most part. Does it bother you, ladies, that you have a man who's physically fit, works out, who's in shape, and because you have had children, and because you tend to the house, but you don't necessarily tend to your bodies as you should, or you feel that you should? Are you resentful and upset with the man, maybe even in a quiet sort of way, that he's attractive physically? Curious, inquiry minds would like to know. Well, let me say this. It should not bother you, ladies, that your partner is attractive physically. Now, if you do have a problem with him being sort of a magnet, maybe there should be some incentive for you to probably start an exercise regimen or routine or join a club or what have you. But you really shouldn't have to, because you got together, you married one another, or you stand with one another because your original and or uh, feelings that you have for each other in the beginning were legitimate. They were genuine. You loved and cared for one another. Now, there was a time about 30, 40 years ago when people followed the marriage vows, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health, till death do us part. Whatever happened to those vows? Here, nowadays, people are creating their own vows, and they are nothing like the original vows that I just mentioned or alluded to. And sometimes people don't have any vows at all. It's that we're just going to get married, or we're just going to hook up and let the chips fall where they may. We hope we're going to have a good future together. But oftentimes, you don't, if the groundwork has not been set. Groundwork meaning that you have to fundamentally understand one another. You have to know one another's likes and dislikes. You have to know what's going on in one another's mind. You have to know what you agree on and disagree on as far as life issues is concerned. So now getting back to the body issue. If you met your wife and she was petite or medium built, had a nice banging body in the very beginning, guys, and now she's put on weight, 20, 30, 40 pounds, maybe even 60 pounds. Is that any reason to see her any less attractive just because she has gained weight? The answer is no. She's still beautiful. If you have an issue with her body, then you had that issue in the very beginning. You got together with her for the wrong reasons in the first place. It's not about how she looked aesthetically only. It's about the content of her character and how she cares and loves and cherishes you and your values. And conversely, ladies, if your man, your husband, your male spouse had a tight body, worked out, was very physically active, maybe even into sports, and once he's been with you 5, 10 years, now he likes to watch the game on Sundays. He likes to drink his beer, eat his pretzels and his potato chips and pork rinds or whatever, and he's gained weight, and now he has a spare tire. Are you disinterested in him now? Do you care less about him now since maybe you've maintained your posture and or your body? Is he not attractive, or should he? And should he be, rather? And are you looking outside of him at every other stud walking down the road who has that same image that your partner had in the very beginning? If you are out of order. You are wrong. Because the same thing that got you together in the beginning, again, should have been the content of his character. Has absolutely nothing to do with his body first. If you're attracted to only the body, men, and women, if you're only attracted to the body of the man, something is wrong with your perception, and it's not going to last very long. Your relationship, that is. You have to love one another for each other. Let me bring it on home if you didn't comprehend what I just said. You have to love your wife for who she is. And ladies, you have to love your husband, your spouse, for who he is. Not how he looks and not how she looks. Because the superficial stuff is going to wear away eventually. But the person on the inside usually remains the same. So how are you going to measure it now? So my answer is this. If my wife gained additional weight after having children, that comes with the territory. That's the way I see it. I love her just the same in day 5,000 as I did on day 1. Because I didn't marry her just for her body. I married her because we had something in common other than that. Now, in my conclusion, if her having extra weight presents and or causes a health issue, I would say something to her about it kindly and affectionately, with consideration. Baby, sweetheart, I believe that you need to watch what you eat, be more mindful and thoughtful of how you eat and what you eat, because I want you to be around with me for many years, and it would be unfair for you to leave me, when it's something that you can control. That's it, and that's all.